Let us begin the meditation with the three great mantras and Sri Ganesha's mantra, followed by Sri Ganesha's mantra.
Event play it again.
Yes, we are doing. Let us sit comfortably with our hands on our laps. O Sri Ganesha, we humbly ask, let our attention come inside. Let it reside
at the base of the spine in the Muladhara chakra. O Sri Ganesha, in all humility, we bow at your lotus feet. You are the one who unlocks the keys to the chakras, to the gateway of the Kundalini, to become one with your Holy Mother, our Mother, Sri Mataji, Adi Shakti. Let us take a minute to allow ourselves to melt into the oneness of the divine Muladhara chakra, to absorb the qualities of purity and wisdom, innocence, auspiciousness of Sri Ganesha. May we be auspicious. Let our attention rise to the heart chakra, to the seat of the spirit, where Lord Shiva resides with Sri Adi Shakti. O Lord Shiva, from here in England, the heart of the universe, we humbly ask that you take us deep into the depths of our spirit. Let us feel the purity, the joyfulness, the bhakti of becoming one in the spirit of our Holy Mother, Sri Adi Shakti, your consort. Let us feel ourselves melt into the divine spirit of the universe. One with Sri Shiva in the heart chakra. Let our attention rise into the Vishuddhi chakra at the throat. O Lord Krishna, who has opened, O Lord Krishna, who resides in Adi Shri Adi Shakti, open us to the Virat, to the cosmos. Let us become one in the collective being of the divine. Let us be the pure Sakshi, the witness of all the foolish Maya in the world. Let us be one in the reality of the Divine Spirit. Let our attention rise in our Kundalini into the Agya Chakra. O Lord Jesus, Holy Son of Shrimataji, Mother Mary, incarnation of Sri Ganesha in his most evolved form, who came to show us the path, to open the gate. Let us be totally thoughtless. Let us have love for all mankind. Let us forgive the ignorant, the foolish, the powerful, the aggressive, for they know not what they do. Let us rise above all this Maya in the world. Let us feel the purity of divine love in every pore of our being. Let us feel the love Srimataji Adi Shakti came on this earth to show humanity the love of God for his creation. Let us rise into the Sasrara and beyond, into the silence of the divine. Let all our cares, our anxieties, all our family challenges, our work challenges, our physical challenges, we let go of all of them. They are nothing as we melt into the Divine Spirit. Let us enjoy the silence within us and without for a few minutes. Let us be relaxed. Let all our thoughts melt away. We exist only to be one with you, O Divine Adishakti. Let us enjoy all the blessings of the divine in this silence. Thank you, Mother, for your blessings. You do everything. We do nothing. We are yours, your children. Let us never be the cause of division or disunity in our collectives or in our daily lives. Let us rise up and become pure, enlightened beings, filled with your wisdom, your compassion, and your love for all those around us. But let us be firm in our Dharma. Let us be firmly attached to you and only you, O Divine, Most Holy Sri Adi Shakti, our Mother. We are going to listen to the first part of a talk Srimadaji gave in 1977 on the Spirit. I hope there will be subtitles. It can be a little quiet, but it's very deep. Let us enjoy in the silence.
आशिफ भैया अगर
ऐसे प्ले नहीं हो रहा है तो फिर YouTube से चला लीजिए। आई थिंक थोड़ा इशू हो रहा है, क्षमा चाहता हूँ। दीदी, just we are going to play it in YouTube. Yes, some
the most precious thing that we have within ourselves. The preciousness of your spirit is immeasurable, and that's why it is called as a thing of eternal value, because it is infinite. You cannot measure. Now, God, the Almighty, we say, is Sat Chit Anand. Sat means the truth. The truth we understand in human terminology is relative. But the Sat I am telling you is the absolute from where all the relations start. Example, I'll tell you how to understand. This earth has got oceans and rivers and all kinds of waters, you can say. But earth is enveloping all of them. If the Mother Earth was not there, there could not have been any of these existing. So we can say that Mother Earth is the support of all the things that exist on her. She is enveloping us. In the atoms she exists. In the big mountains she exists, because the elements are part of that earth. In the same way, God Almighty, the Sat part of Him, the truth, is the support of all the things that are created or not created. Another example you try to understand. How the Sat is the Purusha, is the God, who does not take actual part in the creation itself, but is a catalyst. The example can be like this, that I am doing all the work, I am creating everything, but I have a light in my hand. Without the light, I cannot do anything. Light is the support of my work. But the light does not in any way do anything about what I do. In the same way, God Almighty is just a witness, like a light. But his another quality is his chitta, is his attention. When it is excited, in Sanskrit there's a very good word, spurana, is pulsates. When it pulsates, his attention when it pulsates, then through his attention he starts creating. And he has third quality, which we call as Anand. Anand is the feeling of joy that he gets by his perception, by his creation. The joy that he gets. All these three things, when they are at a 0 point where they meet, then they become the principle of Brahma, where these three things are one, where there is complete silence. Nothing is created, nothing is manifested, but the joy is one with the attention. Because attention has reached and merged into joy, and joy has become one with the truth. This combination of three qualities separate and create three types of phenomena. The Anand, the joy, in God, moves with his creation and with the truth. When the joy starts moving with the creation starts moving down from first the truth stage to asat, from sat to untruth, to maya, to illusion. And that time, the creation starts on the right hand side. The creative forces start working out, and when it starts working out, the joy in it, which is on the left hand side, is the emotional side of God, also starts becoming grosser and grosser. The creation starts becoming grosser, and the joy in it also starts becoming grosser. And the light of God also starts becoming grosser and grosser and grosser, till they reach a stage where there is, we can say, a complete darkness of tamoguna, the complete creation of the creativity, and the complete sleeping of the joy element. Clearer? Do you understand now Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati? That's why Christ said, I am the light. Because he represents the Sat, the light of God. And light of God becomes absolutely gross, dormant, dead when it reaches the seventh stage of creation. All these things go deeper and deeper, becoming grosser and grosser. That's one part of the parabolic. Now the another part of the parabolic starts when you are ascending back to God Almighty. That grossness now gradually starts becoming higher and higher, subtler and subtler, and finer and finer. In that refinement, you find ultimately the light works for the evolutionary process. Gradually, the grosser parts start becoming enlightened. You find a lower animal is not that much enlightened as the higher animal is. Gradually, even the joy starts becoming subtler, and we can call it beautiful. Human joys are much more beautiful than that of animals. So the joys also start changing their manifestation, in the sense you start seeing more and wider range of joy comes into your hand. For example, to a dog, beauty has no meaning. Decency has no meaning. So at a stage when you are a human being, to that extent you develop your sat, which is awareness. To that extent you also develop your joy, and to that extent you also develop your creative action. Now you see how the creativity of God passes into the hand of man when he turns round. How the joy of God passes into the hand of man, and how his light comes into the heart of man as spirit. It's beautiful. And at that stage, when you have become a human being, people say human beings have a soul. Not that others do not have, but the light starts burning in a human being only. Because of that light, we talk of religion, we talk of God, and we talk of eternal things. But it's a very precarious stage that is to be human beings. Because at this stage, you have to jump only a little bit that side while you start jumping this side and that side. Because this jumping is not possible unless and until the awareness reaches that stage where you become independent, and in that independence you find your own glory.
जय श्री माता जी। सभी को आज हमारे स्पेशल गेस्ट मिसेस दीदी फेलिसिटी पेमेंट दीदी हैं, एंड मैं उनका थोड़ा सा उनका प्रोफाइल आपको रीड आउट कर देता हूँ। तो दीदी का जैसे इसमें आपको दिख रहा होगा स्क्रीन पे, दीदी बॉर्न एंड ब्रॉट अप लंदन की हैं, और उन्होंने अपना रियलाइजेशन 1979 दिल्ली में श्री माता जी के इंडिया टूर में लिया था। और उस समय पे उनकी एज 23 ईयर्स थी। उनकी सहज योग में ही मैरिज हुई है 1982 में, वो भी एक और माँ के इंडिया टूर के दौरान। उसके बाद वो कनाडा मूव कर गई थी, वहाँ पे वो और उनके कैनेडियन सहयोगी हस्बैंड, जिन्होंने बहुत कार्य किया वहाँ पे, ताकि वहाँ पे कैनेडियन कलेक्टिविटी को स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाया जा सके। और वहाँ पे उन्होंने कनाडा में एक सिटी वैंकूवर में 35 ईयर्स स्पेंड किए। उसके बाद वो रिटायर होके वापस यूके आ गई 8 साल पहले, जहाँ पे वो उन्होंने कंटिन्यू किया कलेक्टिव को, यूके कलेक्टिविटी को डेडिकेशन के साथ। प्रोफेशनली देखा जाए तो वो प्राइमरी स्कूल टीचर रह चुकी हैं, जिसमें उनका वर्क एक्सपीरियंस टोटल 30 ईयर्स का है। शी इज ऑल्सो, वो एक प्राउड मदर भी हैं, और उनके 5 ग्रोन अप बच्चे भी हैं और 5 ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन भी हैं। तो आइए आज हम सभी युवा शक्ति भाई बहन फेलिसिटी दीदी का हृदय से स्वागत करते हैं। जय श्री माता जी। जय श्री माता दी दीदी। वी वेलकम यू ऑल फ्रॉम द बॉटम ऑफ अवर हार्ट। जय श्री माता। Am I audible, Didi? Like to you?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. So I just gave your profile, shared your
Yeah.
profile in brief to with others, and we welcome you from the bottom of our heart. And yeah, we would love to talk about you in today's session about your experiences and everything. So what I will do is that I will ask a question to you in first in English, then I will translate it in Hindi, then you can answer it, then again I will translate it in Hindi. Okay, so this is how we go about it. So I'm just going to translate whatever I said to you to others. So जैसा हम सभी जानते हैं कि इस जब भी ऐसे सेशन होते हैं तो उसमें एक क्वेश्चन हम दीदी से गेस्ट से पूछते हैं, और फिर वो क्वेश्चन को ट्रांसलेट भी किया जाता है हिंदी में, और जब गेस्ट आंसर कर देता है तो उसे भी ट्रांसलेट किया जाता है। तो अब मैं दीदी से अपना पहला क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ कि पहला क्वेश्चन जैसा हम हर गेस्ट से पूछते हैं कि उनकी सहज योगा जर्नी कैसे स्टार्ट हुई और कैसे करके वो सहयोग में आए। तो दीदी, माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन टू यू इज दैट हाउ डिड यू गेट स्टार्टेड विद सहज योगा? लाइक हाउ डज ऑल ऑफ दिस सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन हैपन टू यू, and what were you doing back in India at that time? Yes.
So, Jai Shri Mataji, thank you for having me. So when how to make it short? So when I was in university, when I went to university to start, I had been always having a very strong connection with God, I felt. But when I got to university, I suddenly thought, what am I doing here? What is the point of all of this? And I felt very desperate. So I started looking in the Bible. Maybe the answer is in the Bible. But no, it wasn't. And I closed it. And then I heard inside myself a very strong voice saying, when the time is come, when the time is right, I will come for you. And so I had to let it go and completed university. But particularly in the last year, in my mind was always, when this is done, I'm going to find the joy. I'm going to find the joy. And so then I decided to travel, and I went to India on my way to Australia. More? So I was waiting for you to translate.
So I can translate this enough, this till this. So दीदी ने बोला कि जब दीदी ने कॉलेज में एडमिशन लिया था, और दीदी स्टार्टिंग से ही दीदी का गॉड, परमात्मा के लिए मतलब कुछ ना कुछ दीदी का एक कनेक्शन था, एक डीप कनेक्शन था, कि वो सोचती थी कि परमात्मा के बारे में, स्पिरिचुअलिज्म से दीदी जुड़ी रहती थी। तो दीदी ने जब कॉलेज ज्वाइन किया तो वो वहाँ पे सोचने लगी कि मैं यहाँ पे क्या कर रही हूँ कॉलेज में, मुझे जबकि स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में आगे बढ़ना चाहिए, मुझे परमात्मा को खोजना चाहिए। तो दीदी ने तब सोच लिया था कि जब एक बार मेरा कॉलेज खत्म हो जाएगा तो मैं फिर सब कुछ छोड़ छाड़ के फिर मैं इसकी खोज स्टार्ट कर दूंगी। और दीदी ने एक बात यही बताई कि जब कॉलेज के टाइम पे उनके अटेंशन में एक बात आई थी जिसमें उन्हें एक थॉट आया था, एक विचार आया था कि उसमें विचार में ये बोला गया था कि व्हेन टाइम इज राइट, आई थिंक इट वाज लाइक व्हेन टाइम इज राइट आई विल, दीदी कुड यू रिपीट
I will,
लाइक।
I will come for you. I felt
हाँ
this
तो
voice say.
या सो उन्होंने ये आवाज सुनी थी, उन्हें फील हुआ था कि जब समय सही होगा तो मैं विल कम फॉर यू, तो मैं आपके लिए आऊंगा। तो ये दीदी की अभी तक स्टोरी है। अब आगे देखते हैं। यार दीदी, ओवर टू यू।
Okay. So then off I went, and so I got to India, and I was completely amazed by India. It was totally different. This was 1979, totally different from what I was expecting. I wanted to stay longer. So anyway, I traveled around. After 5 months, I was asking people, have you met someone? I'm looking for a yogi in the mountain, something like that. I want to be one with God. I want to feel that oneness with God. And I read the Upanishads and I felt, oh, they have what I want. This is what I want. And then I met someone who had met Srimataji, and I found out where she was going to be. And I went up to Delhi and joined at the end of her tour in Delhi.
ओके, सो आई विल ट्रांसलेट दिस। सो दीदी ने बताया कि कॉलेज के बाद उन्होंने लंदन से ऑस्ट्रेलिया वो जा रही थी इंडिया होते हुए। तो इंडिया में दीदी को जब वो आई तो उन्होंने वहाँ के लोगों को देख के उन्हें बहुत अलग फील हुआ कि ये बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है जो उनके लंदन में जैसे लाइफस्टाइल थी। तो उन्होंने फिर वहाँ पे उन्होंने बोला, दीदी ने सोचा कि मुझे ऐसे गुरुओं के पास जाना है, ऐसे गुरु के पास जो हिमालय में रहते हैं जैसा पहले गुरु होते थे। तो दीदी ने फिर उसके अलावा उपनिषद का भी खूब पढ़ा, उपनिषद के बारे में। तो जब उन्होंने उपनिषद के बारे में पढ़ा तो उन्हें पता चला कि उन्हें फील हुआ कि हाँ, यही मैं चाहती हूँ, यही मुझे चाहिए। फिर जैसे जैसे उन्हें खोज चलती रही, ऐसे ही करके उन्हें एक दिन एक श्री माता जी के कोई नॉन से कन्वर्सेशन हुआ। उन्हें फिर पता चला श्री माता जी के बारे में। या दीदी, ओवर टू यू।
So it was very different. At that time, there were only a small group of yogis in England and about 30, 40 in India. And I went to the address I was given. It was a bungalow, 10 Ashoka Road. And Shrimataji was giving evening programs in a very small tent in the garden. And when I walked in, I saw there was just mostly Indian people and a few Westerners from the tour with Shrimataji. And this was very different because I had been traveling on the so-called hippie trail, and all the false gurus in India at the time had many Westerners, but not following them, all kinds of weird things going on. But this tent was filled with like Indian businessmen, like my dad, and some Indian ladies. And I thought, this is something different, I was impressed because I respected my father, and here were people like my father who were, had come to hear Shrimataji. So that night I got realization, and then she didn't speak in English. I didn't know what was happening, but I felt nice. And so I was invited to go to Bodhi for the seminar with the Western yogis and with the Indian yogis, and so I went. Is this too much detail? Is this too much detail?
Uh,
A
yeah,
little
it's
bit,
fine.
isn't it?
Yeah,
I'll skip to the seminar as soon as I can.
yeah,
Maybe
maybe.
to you, please go on.
या सो दीदी ने बोला कि जब वो उन्हें जब श्री माता जी का नोन्स के थ्रू उन्हें एड्रेस पता चला जहाँ पे श्री माता जी पब्लिक प्रोग्राम शाम को कर रहे थे, तो वहाँ पे दीदी जब उस टेंट में गई, उस एड्रेस पे जब गई, तो उन्होंने देखा कि वहाँ पे बहुत सारे इंडियन लोग थे जो कि बहुत डिफरेंट था, क्योंकि उन्होंने बोला कि जब हम वेस्टर्नर्स लोग इंडिया में आते थे उस टाइम पे, तो बहुत सारे फॉल्स गुरुज होते थे, और वो फॉल्स गुरुज लोग क्या करते थे कि वो काफी सारे वेस्टर्नर लोग को अपने मतलब अपने, क्या कहूँ, मतलब एक अपने जाल में फंसा लेते थे। तो दीदी ने जब वहां पे उन्हें देखा श्री माता जी के उसमें, तो वहां पे कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट था, वहां पे इंडियंस लोग थे, और दीदी ने काफी इंडियंस लोग को काफी रिस्पेक्ट करती हैं, क्योंकि उनके फादर भी एक बिजनेसमैन थे। तो उस दिन दीदी को रियलाइजेशन मिला, और रियलाइजेशन के बाद उन्हें फिर इनवाइट किया गया बोर्डी में प्रोग्राम अटेंड करने के लिए। या
So it was very, so also what was so different was that Shrimataji was very approachable. Like even when I first arrived at the bungalow, they were having tea and I was invited in to have tea in front with Shrimataji there. And again, in comparison to all the false gurus, had been told by other people, you can't go near them. They keep themselves very aloof, you know, but Shrimataji was very hands-on and just very motherly. And so we went to the seminar, and on the train, Shrimataji was I believe, on the train as well with all of us. And we arrived at Bordi. And what I remember next was that in the morning, on the morning of the seminar, Shrimataji asked us all to stand in the semicircle to make like a half bandan, you know, like a bandan, with her sitting in the middle. And then the person on the left had their hand towards Shrimataji. And then everyone was linked in this bandhan through the fingers touching the sasrara in the palm of the person next to them. So the person on the left put their right hand fingers into the sasrara of the left hand of that person, and vice versa. So we were all connected through the sasraras in the palm. And the person on the right, Shrimataji instructed to put their hand up, out, like we do when we're clearing ourselves, like this. And then we were standing there all together, kind of going into meditation. And she said, is everybody feeling vibrations in both hands? Because that's important. If somebody is not, then it blocks the flow and the clearing can't happen. So then I realized for the first time I was actually feeling cool vibrations in my right hand, all up my right side. I hadn't felt up until that point, but nothing in my left hand. So Shrimataji called me in front of her, and I went forward and I knelt down, and she seemed very big in front of me. And she said, put your right hand on your left heart, on your heart, and ask, Shrimataji, is this the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost? Is this the cool breeze of the Param Chaitanya? And suddenly I just felt this wind blowing from Shrimataji, and like something rushed up, and this weight, literally I felt this weight fall off my shoulders. And there I was feeling cool in both hands. And I felt like I'd gone looking for the joy. I had really overworked at university, ruined my liver. And now I could feel this, I felt like I could write poetry again. I felt this joy and this love in my heart. And this was so beautiful and amazing for me. And I felt Shrimataji had put a straw, she was holding the top of a straw, and that I had been drowning, and that she put this straw down, and if I held on to the bottom of it, and she's at the top, I would be all right. And then that afternoon, we were sitting having tea with her in the garden, just, you know, a small group of yogis at her feet. And she started, for the first time, she spoke in English. And when I went back and I looked at this talk, she speaks a lot about food and eating habits. And at that time, I had a lot of eating problems. I didn't know why or what to do. And when she spoke in English about it, I felt something unlock inside me. And I suddenly thought, oh, it's okay to be thin. It's okay, you know. And when she spoke in English, I felt this connection inside. I felt for the first time in my life that here was someone who was not just speaking, but you could feel from her being that everything I always felt was truthful and important in life, Shrimataji was just emitting it, you know. So it was such an amazing feeling to be with someone, a being who reflects what you are feeling. I guess in a way you feel, many people at my time of getting realization said they felt like they had come home, you know. And after that, Shrimataji said, you must come back to England. And I'd vowed to leave England, never to return. But I wanted to be with Shrimataji, and I really connected with the yogis. Sorry, I forgot to stop for the translation. So I went
No
back to.
worries. I mean, it's very joy giving. I mean, I think everyone is listening, but still okay. I will try to translate it in brief. So दीदी ने बताया कि जब श्रीमाता जी से जब वो जिस दिन पहली बार जो एड्रेस पे गई थी उस बंगला में, तो वहां पे उन्होंने देखा कि उन्हें वहां पे टी भी ऑफरिंग दीदी को टी भी ऑफरिंग करी गई थी। जबकि उन्होंने बोला कि जबकि मैंने और गुरुज के वहां जब हमने देखा था तो वहां पे तो गुरु के पास जाने भी नहीं दिया जाता था। उन्हें उनसे बोल दिया जाता था तुम दूर से ही देख लो गुरु को। तो वो ये बताना चाह रही हैं दीदी कि श्री माता जी कितनी फ्रेंडली थी फर्स्ट डे से ही। एक तो ये बात थी। दूसरी बात उन्होंने बताई थी कि जब वो बोर्डी गई थी तो वहां पे एक श्री माता जी ने एक और उनसे टेक्निक करवाई थी जिसमें सबको उन्होंने सेमी सर्कल में बैठाया था। सारे सहयोगी को श्री माता जी बीच में थी और उसमें दीदी लाइक हाउ डिड यू डिस्क्राइब दैट सेमी सर्कल
तो आई
थिंग
विल
दैट
टेक इट ऑन दिव्यांश। तो दीदी ने ये बताया कि श्री माता जी सेंटर में थे और सभी सहयोगियों को सेमी सर्कल में चारों तरफ खड़ा किया था और सभी का हाथ श्री माता जी की तरफ था। सबसे राइट साइड वाले जो लोग थे उनका हाथ श्री माता जी की तरफ था। उनका जो लेफ्ट हाथ है वो दूसरे के सहस्त्रार के ऊपर रखा हुआ था। ऐसे ही सभी ने अपना हाथ रखा था। राइट साइड वाले ने श्री माता जी की तरफ हाथ रखा, लेफ्ट वाले ने ऊपर कर दिया। और श्री माता जी ने ये पूछा उनको, क्या आपको दोनों साइड में वाइब्रेशन आ रहे हैं कि नहीं? अगर एक साइड आ रहे हैं, एक साइड नहीं आ रहे तो ब्लॉक है। तो फेलिसिटी दीदी ने ये बोला कि मेरे को राइट में आ रहे हैं, मुझे लेफ्ट में वाइब्रेशन नहीं आ रहे। तो श्री माता जी इनको बुलाया, मेरे पास आओ और अपना हाथ राइट हार्ट के ऊपर रखो और पूछो क्या क्या ये कूल ब्रीज है? इज दिस द कूल ब्रीज ऑफ द होली स्पिरिट? तो जैसे ही इन्होंने वो 2-3 सवाल पूछे, इमीडिएटली उनके सारे वाइब्रेशन खुल गए और कुछ सर के ऊपर से ऊपर तक गया और वेट पूरा उनका खत्म हो गया। जैसा डूबते को तिनके का सहारा बोलती है, ऐसे बोल रहे जैसे मैं नीचे हूँ और एक स्ट्रॉ से श्री माता जी ने ऊपर उठाया हुआ है। ऐसा उनको लगा जैसे कि मैं घर में आ गई। फिर उनको कुछ खाने से रिलेटेड जो भी इश्यूज थे, जब श्री माता जी ने लेक्चर में इंग्लिश में बोलना शुरू किया तो दीदी को बहुत कनेक्टेड लगा और उसके बाद वो खाने से रिलेटेड जितने भी पॉइंट थे, इनको लगा कि आई हैव कम होम विद द वे शी वाज स्पीकिंग। सभी लोगों को लगा कि मैं वापस घर आ गई हूँ। ओवर टू यू दीदी।
just one thing that I wanted to add onto this कि दीदी ने एक चीज यही बताई थी कि दीदी इंग्लैंड छोड़ के ऑस्ट्रेलिया जा रही थी तो उन्होंने सोच लिया था कि अब इंग्लैंड कभी नहीं आएंगी। बट श्री माता जी ने उनसे उसी इंडिया टूर में बोल दिया था कि अब तुम इंग्लैंड वापस आओ। तो ये भी एक बात थी जो दीदी ने बताई थी। दीदी आई वाज जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट यू रिटर्निंग बैक टू इंग्लैंड व्हेन यू वाउड टू डोंट कम बैक टू इट। सो
Yes.
yeah
And
okay.
and I was very impressed. I felt this connection with the Western yogis. I'd been traveling for 7 months. I'd met so many Europeans and young people, and this was the first time I met people that I felt they were like me. It was like my Kundalini obviously recognized. I didn't know at the time. And I also was very impressed with the Indian yogis. They were so deep and so loving, and they just emitted this depth of energy, of vibration I had not felt or seen before. And I felt, if they've got this through Saj Yoga, this is what I want.
So दीदी ने बताया कि सहयोगी जब वो दीदी और लोगों से मिली तो उन्हें दीदी को यही फील होता था कि हाँ ये बिल्कुल मेरे जैसे ही हैं, जैसा उन्हें फील होता है वैसे ही नहीं फील होता है। तो वो यही कहती थी कि ये अगर ये सहयोगी हैं तो दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट, मुझे भी ऐसे ही बनना है, दिस इज समथिंग आई वांट टू बिकम। सो या ये दीदी का ये पॉइंट है।
So then I went back to England. I cashed in my boat trip
ticket and my airplane ticket to Australia. I had just enough to get back to England. And I arrived and I went to the ashram. And it was very small. There was only like 30, 40 yogis in the West. Gregoire was somewhere in Austria, and there was a French yogini, but that was it, you know, just England and India. It's hard to imagine nowadays. Things have changed so much. And vibrations were very difficult, was very difficult. We saw Srimataji at least twice a week. We had public programs on Monday nights in Caxton Hall, and many Sundays she would come to the ashram and just spend time with us. She would work on everybody who needed it. We would sit, she would come and sit in the armchair in the living room. Sometimes she would make us all go to sleep on the Sunday afternoon, because she said then she could work through our subconscious and she could clear while we were sleeping, and she was there, she could clear it. And sometimes it would seem as if she or herself had dozed off. She looked like she was sleeping. And then suddenly she would go, Hester, left to right, or something like this, you know? So it seemed like she was asleep, but she wasn't. Her awareness was on everybody in the room. And then over the following months, even more so, the collective grew quite quickly. And when we would meet on Sunday, she was really teaching us about the Kundalini, about the chakras, how to work on each other. We would work together with her. So it was a very intense time of trying to clear oneself, of learning from Srimataji, and going out and spreading vibrations and giving realization. And we were all young. Most people, there were two couples over 30, maybe in their 30s and 40s, and all the rest of us were in our 20s, you know. Yuvashakti, but we didn't know it then.
तो दीदी ने बताया कि दीदी के पास उस समय उतने ही पैसे थे इंग्लैंड रिटर्न वापस होने के, तो दीदी वापस इंग्लैंड आ गई। दीदी ने बताया कि उस समय पे इंग्लैंड में छोटा सेंटर था और सहयोगी बहुत कम ही थे, और बाकी जो जितने भी सहयोगी थे वो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट कंट्रीज में थे। तो एक ग्रेगोर अंकल का नाम उन्होंने लिया था, वो ऑस्ट्रिया में थे, एक फ्रांस में सहयोगिनी थी, तो सबके सब स्कैटर्ड था उस समय पे, सब अलग अलग थे। पहली बात ये थी। फिर उन्होंने बताया कि श्री माता जी जब आती थी तो कभी कभी वो संडेज को आती थी और हम पर वर्क करती थी, वो क्लियरेंस हमारी करती थी। कभी कभी वो संडे को दिन में हमें बोलती थी कि हम सब लोग, हमें सुला देती थी ताकि वो हमारे सबकॉन्शियस के थ्रू हमारी क्लियरेंस कर सकें। इसके अलावा उन्होंने ये भी बताया कि श्री माता जी ने हमें बहुत सारी टेक्निक्स बताई थी क्लियरेंस की, वाइब्रेशन एक्सचेंज, सब कुछ बताया, वो सब हम सीख रहे थे। और उन्होंने लास्ट में ये बोला कि हम लोग उस समय बहुत यंग थे, हम लोग 20s में थे अपने, और उस समय कपल्स भी जो थे वहाँ पे 2 ही कपल थे, तो बाकी सब लोग 20s में थे। और दीदी ने बोला कि हम युवा शक्ति थे तब, लेकिन उस समय वो एज ए क्लियर नहीं था, मतलब युवा शक्ति तब तो नहीं था ना, मतलब, तो इसलिए दीदी ने बताया कि हम युवा शक्ति थे तब, और कपल्स थे, सिर्फ 2 ही कपल्स थे। तो यार लाइक अगर किसी के कोई क्वेश्चंस हो, अगर कुछ भी एक्सपीरियंस शेयरिंग, कुछ भी अगर किसी को पूछना हो तो चैट में डाल सकते हैं अभी से, क्योंकि सेशन का टाइम देखते हुए ट्रांसलेशन भी है, सब कुछ है, तो किसी को क्वेश्चन है तो अभी से आप डालना स्टार्ट कर दीजिए। दीदी, आई जस्ट आस्क एवरीवन टू स्टार्ट पुटिंग देयर क्वेश्चन।
Yeah, okay. So I have one more thing I wanted to share, was that
sure.
Was that it was, so Shrimataji was always talking to us, how can we spread Saj Yoga? What can we do? How can we bring people to the programs, and how can we get people to stick on? And in those days, there was no computer, no internet, nothing. It was just postering, radio, newspapers. That was how we would spread. So one day I had this idea that maybe I could make a little card and put Shrimataji's photo in it, and put this up in the post offices or in the libraries on their notice boards, just advertising the programs for people to come. But I didn't know if this was an auspicious idea or a good idea, if we could do this. So I took this card, I did a mock-up to show Srimataji. And I said, would it be okay? Could we do this? And I was expecting that she would give some instructions or she would give some advice or criticism or something. But no, she just said, try it and see. And that was how she was. She didn't tell us so much what to do. She wanted us to learn for ourselves, to try for ourselves. And she said, try it. If it doesn't work, then do something different. So I wanted to share this specially for everyone and the Yuvashakti to know that we should have confidence that if you have an idea, it often comes from the divine, and have confidence and try it. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. We try something else. But Srimataji was very experimental in the early days when we were trying things. And she had tremendous confidence. She gave us all confidence in ourselves.
हाँ, तो दीदी ने बताया कि उन दिनों श्री माता जी हमसे बहुत मतलब पूछती थी कि कैसे करके आप सहज योगा बढ़ा सकते हो, कैसे आप सहज योगा फैला सकते हो। और दीदी ने बताया कि उस समय पे इंटरनेट नहीं था, टेलीविजन भी इतने नहीं होते थे, तो न्यूज़पेपर, लाइब्रेरीज, यही एक रेडियो, यही एक चैनल थे उस समय सहज योगा फैलाने के। तो दीदी ने अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर किया कि एक दिन दीदी ने सोचा कि क्यों ना हम श्री माता जी की फोटो एक पोस्ट कार्ड में लगा के और उसका एडवर्टीजमेंट करते हैं, और हम जगह जगह पे पोस्ट ऑफिस में एडवर्टीजमेंट कर सकते हैं, लाइब्रेरीज में कर सकते हैं, जगह जगह वो कर सकते हैं उसका सहयोग का प्रमोशन। तो उन्होंने, लेकिन उन्हें ये नहीं पता था कि ये आइडिया सही है कि गलत है। तो उन्होंने श्री माता जी से को ही आइडिया पूछा और उन्होंने सोचा कि श्री माता जी उन्हें कोई एडवाइस देंगी या कोई फीडबैक देंगी उस पर। बट श्री माता जी ने बोला कि ट्राई करो, ट्राई इट योर सेल्फ एंड लेट्स सी। तो दीदी ने ये बात बताने की कोशिश करी कि हम सभी को भी जो भी हमारे चित्त में आइडियाज आते हैं, आइडियाज भी दीदी ने बोला कि डिवाइन से ही आते हैं, परमात्मा से ही आते हैं। तो वो जो भी हमारे चित्त में आइडियाज आते हैं तो उसे हमें ट्राई करना चाहिए, हमारे अंदर कॉन्फिडेंस होना चाहिए, हम उससे ट्राई करें, और वो वर्कआउट हो या ना हो वो अलग चीज़ है, बट हमें करना चाहिए। तो दीदी ने यही सब हमें भी बताया कि हमें भी जो भी आइडियाज आते हैं उसे करना चाहिए, क्योंकि श्री माता जी बहुत एक्सपेरिमेंटल थी, बहुत एक्सपेरिमेंट श्री माता जी करती थी। दीदी ने बोला स्टार्टिंग के अर्ली डेज ऑफ सहज योगा में। तो या I think Didi, we are starting to have some questions.
Yes, I'm laughing. I'm seeing these questions because somebody has put experiences that I have shared in some memories that I can expand a bit on. There was just something I wanted to say first. Yes, I wanted to say it was such a special experience to be with Shrimataji in those days because she was so motherly. And you could feel, when I look back, I can feel how incredible that God took a human form to show how much He loves us as human beings and wants us to be part of this great experiment to enlighten humanity and to take humanity to the next step. And I want to share that love that Mother gave us physically in her human form with all of you, that each one of you is completely loved by the divine and forgiven for mistakes that you make. And you must always remember that.
तो दीदी ने यही वो किस्सा आगे सुनाने से पहले यही बात बताई कि श्री माता जी ने, परमात्मा ने हमें, हमसे इतना परमात्मा प्यार करते हैं कि उन्होंने ह्यूमन इनकारनेशन लिया और हमें इतना प्यार किया, हमारा हमारा सेल्फ रिलाइजेशन दिया, हमें सब कुछ दिया। तो दीदी ये बताना चाह रही हैं कि परमात्मा हमसे कितना प्यार करते हैं और उन्होंने हमारे लिए कितना कुछ किया है, और वो हमारी गलतियों के लिए हमें माफ भी करते हैं। तो दीदी वही प्रेम आज शेयर थोड़ा करना चाहती हैं हमारे साथ। क्या दीदी, लाइक यू कैन स्टार्ट विद द केसेस।
Okay.
the stories.
So the first question is experience of watching Star Wars movie. So I would say in those days, we did a lot of Shrimataji she would watch the TV, she would watch the news, she would watch movies with the yogis, because in the same way that we had the evening music programs with her, watching movies with the yogis, she was still able to work on all the yogis in the room. That's what she did the whole time. Whenever you were in Mataji's presence, her body was clearing your chakras. And sometimes it could be very uncomfortable and painful, and sometimes it could be very joyful. So when we were watching the movie, Shrimataji is watching the movie, we're all connected, we're all clearing. And we were watching the very first Star Wars that came out. They had made popcorn. So Shrimataji had popcorn for the first time, which she liked. And she said that George Lucas, the storyline was very close, because this was the first time we were watching a movie which talked about a universal consciousness, a force. May the force be with you. This phrase became into the, common language. And that's what she said. He's very close. And as I said, it was quite amazing to watch, because I felt this was the first time outside of Saj Yoga that there was a concept of universal consciousness.
You want to add something like you want to describe others as well, or
no? I wanted you to translate.
Okay.
Before he starts translation, I just want to ask you, because I've read that experience, but I am just requesting you to elaborate. Smurf resembling Ganas or something, you have said that in that experience?
No, I think it's mixed in with so we were staying in, sorry, just getting comfortable. We were staying in a yogini's flat, and she had 3 children, and this was in New York. We were watching in New York, and the children had these little Smurfs. They were like, I can't think how you describe them, like little gnomes in a way. It was a big rage at that time. And they were all, it was a children's toy thing, and they were quite innocent, and they represented different qualities, human qualities. And Shrimataji made reference to them when she saw them, and she said, they're just like the Ganas, all the little people following Shiva. That's all I remember. And I think, yes, because this was the first movie. This was before 2 and 3 came out. But when the third one came out, the Ewoks, I think Shrimataji also referenced that they were also like the Gunners. Are we going to have translation?
Okay, translator, please carry on.
Just wanted to say, Amar Bhaiya, actually I am like, my phone battery is about to die actually.
Okay,
and
revive your battery. I am here. I will take on.
Yeah, so, could you please help?
ने ये बोला कि वो श्रीमाता जी के साथ में मूवीज देखी, और जब हम मूवीज देख रहे होते थे तो श्रीमाता जी हमारी क्लियरिंग कर रहे होते थे, और जब भी उनकी प्रेजेंस में होते हैं तो वो हमेशा हमारे ऊपर क्लियरिंग करते रहते थे. कभी वो बहुत आनंददायी होता था, कभी कष्टदायी भी होता था, बट वो क्लियरिंग चलती रहती थी. जब ये मूवी देखी, ये मूवी स्टार वॉर्स पार्ट 1 थी, और उसके अंदर उन्होंने बोला ये काफी क्लोज है जॉर्ज लुकस का बनाया हुआ मूवी, जिसमें वो यूनिवर्सल कॉन्शियसनेस एंड समथिंग हायर दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. तो उसमें इन्होंने ये भी बोला, मे द फोर्स बी विद यू करके एक डायलॉग आता है, विच इज क्लोज टू व्हाट द एक्चुअल थिंग इज. मतलब ये काफी क्लोज है. ये बात हुआ. फिर मैंने सवाल पूछा स्मर्फ, तो उन्होंने बोला छोटे छोटे खिलौने आते थे उस टाइम पे, उसी मूवी के टाइम पे. वो खिलौने काफी मिलते जुलते गन जैसे दिखते एक्चुअली. तो वो एक रेफरेंस था. Over to you, Didi. I have explained to them in Hindi.
So I see the question about teaching aerodynamics. That wasn't me. That was a friend of mine who was studying aerodynamics. And this was just in relation to an observation that we had noticed, that Shrimataji could talk about anything. She is the pure knowledge. And he said, yes, she one day was explaining aerodynamics to me, so I can't say any more about that. And then I see the flower bouquet made from the weeds. So this is part of a much bigger story, which I have recorded, and I can send you the link. It was part of a whole seminar that was arranged in the countryside. And Shrimataji, I would say Felicity was sort of hosting, because it was at my parents' place, who were away on holiday and did not realize this was happening. But we were about to go to collect Shrimataji from the station. We started the seminar on Saturday. Sunday morning, she arrived for puja. And my parents had a large garden, and I had expected that I could make a beautiful bouquet of flowers, fresh flowers, to take to the station to welcome her and to offer her. And to my horror, when I went out in the morning, there was nothing. I don't know, middle of August. It was middle of August, and there was like one tiny flower. I can't remember what it was. So we're driving to the station, and this is Sunday. And in England at that time, everything was closed. We didn't have little marts or, garages. Everything was closed. So I'm arriving at the station, and I'm feeling so like bereft that I have nothing proper to give her. And as I'm in this anxious state, looking around, I see these little yellow flowers growing beside the station platform. And I turned and I saw the station master's wife, and I said, "Oh, can I pick these?" I thought, I must have something, please. And she said, yes, they're just weeds. So I picked them and made a kind of very small bouquet. And then Shrimataji arrived and stepped down off the train, and I went forward and offered. I really wanted to. I always bought beautiful big flowers for her in London. It's the goddess. You want to give something beautiful. So, but she knows everything. So she knows what I'm feeling in my heart. And in her love and graciousness, she said, "Oh, look at these flowers. How fragrant, how beautiful." And I said, "Oh, where did you get them?" She said. I said, "Oh, just here, the station master said they were weeds." She goes, "Oh, weeds, but they're beautiful." And I always felt this was a beautiful story to show the magnanimousness, the graciousness, the Shrimataji always responds. The divine responds to your heart. If you give with your heart, she gives back the same. So that's the background of that story.
Great. Thank you. So I'll just try and translate,
please.
because it's a very heartfelt experience. मैंने जो पहला सवाल पूछा था वो एरोडायनेमिक्स का, तो वो दीदी ने बोला वो सवाल मेरा नहीं था, वो किसी और का था. बट हमने उससे ये सीखा कि एरोडायनेमिक्स भी श्रीमाता जी बताने लग गए. बहुत डीप वाले जो सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं वो किसी भी सब्जेक्ट पे बात कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज वो नॉलेज की सोर्स है, सब कुछ वहीं से आता है. तो शी कैन टॉक अबाउट एनीथिंग. तो दैट वाज वन. एंड सेकंड, मैंने जो पूछा था कि एक एक्सपीरियंस मैंने पढ़ा एक बुक में, जिसमें दीदी बोल रहे हैं कि मैं जा रही हूँ, फूल नहीं मिल रहा है. तो वो उन्होंने डिटेल में बताया. ये बड़ा एक्सपीरियंस था. एक सेमिनार ऑर्गेनाइज किया था, जो सैटरडे को इनको जाना था, संडे को श्रीमाता जी आ रहे थे जहाँ पे सेमिनार के लिए. रेलवे स्टेशन पे इन्होंने जाके उनको रिसीव करना था, और इनके पेरेंट्स के पास बहुत बड़ा गार्डन था. और अगस्त में इन्होंने क्या सोचा, अगले दिन सुबह जाके मैं आराम से बहुत सारे फूल वहां से लेके एक सुंदर बुके बना के श्रीमाता जी को प्रेजेंट करूंगी. और कहते दूसरे दिन जब मैं गई तो बहुत निराश हुई, क्योंकि कुछ भी नहीं था वहां पे, छोटा सा एक फूल था. और वहां पे संडे था, इसलिए सब कुछ बंद था, कुछ भी खुला हुआ नहीं था. तो उनको कोई फूल नहीं मिल रहे थे, और उनको दिल में बहुत लग रहा था कि देवी आने वाली है, गॉडेस आ रही है, मैं क्या ऑफर करूंगी. तो जब वो रेलवे स्टेशन पहुंचे, तो रेलवे स्टेशन में स्टेशन मास्टर के घर के सामने उनको पीले पीले बहुत छोटे से फूल दिखे. और उन्होंने वो स्टेशन मास्टर की वाइफ को पूछा कि क्या मैं ये ले लूं. तो बोला हाँ ले लो, ये तो सिर्फ ऐसी जैसे खरपतवार होता है ना, वीड्स है. तो उन्होंने वो ले लिया, और वो फूल से छोटा सा बुके बनाया. और जब श्रीमाता जी आए तो श्रीमाता जी को ऑफर किया. मगर दीदी बोलती वो इतनी दयालु है, इतनी ग्रेट है, इतनी महान है कि श्रीमाता जी ने देखा, तो क्योंकि दिल से दिया हुआ गिफ्ट, उन्होंने बोला इतना सुंदर बुके बनाया तुमने, कहाँ से ये फूल लेके आए. तो दीदी ने बोला ये तो वीड्स है, यहीं से निकाले. तो उन्होंने बोला वीड्स नहीं है, बहुत फ्रेग्रेंट है और बहुत सुंदर है. तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि जब हम दिल से कुछ ऑफर करते हैं तो गॉडेस है वो एक्सेप्ट करती है. ओवर टू यू दीदी.
Okay,
There
so
is one more question.
I'm going to go on to the next question.
Yes.
To share how has Sahaj helped me professionally, especially in primary school teaching with young children. So I must say that whenever I have gone for jobs, I have always been very surrendered, and I asked Shrimati in my heart to please give me a job that is good for my spirit, you know, and to be surrendered and not to think too much. So one time I was applying for a job as a kindergarten teacher. There were 4 different jobs, and one of them I really wanted to do. They were different timings, you know, some was morning, some was afternoon, in different schools. One I felt, oh, I'd really like to work in that school. And then I got offered the job that I actually didn't want. But I just surrendered to it. Okay, you know, I asked mother, so this is the job I'm getting. So it was in the afternoons, and I started working there. And then I discovered, only a few weeks, a month into it, that actually I was pregnant. And I did another job at the same time in the mornings. And eventually I had to drop one of the jobs. It was too much. I dropped the morning job, and I realized this afternoon job was perfect. But I couldn't have foreseen that, you know, and I realized how mother was taking care of me. So I always say that to my children, you know, if when you are looking for a job, you ask mother to give you the job that's good for your spirit, that is good for you, you know, and then you have to just, if you are surrendered, it will give you the right job. And maybe it seems odd at first or challenging, but jobs can lead to other jobs. You know, sometimes we have to take one step, which takes us to the next step. And as humans, we can't see the path ahead, but the divine can. So if you can relax into that feeling that, okay, maybe this isn't what I was hoping or what I want, but trust in mother. Sometimes you are put in a job because as a yogi, you have to work something out to help other people. Or, you know, Shrimati told us that each one of us as yogis works it out for 10,000 people. So when we are going through challenges, when we are going through chakra clear outs, it's not just helping us, it's helping other people. She talked about this monkey see, monkey do. You know how that story, how on this island, 3 monkeys learned, I can't remember, they learned some technique for gathering water. And suddenly on the other islands, no connection, the other monkeys started doing the same thing. So collectively, we are connected. I let you translate. Sorry.
तो सवाल जो पूछा था प्रोफेशनली कैसा हेल्प हुआ, तो दीदी ने ये बोला कि अपना लाइव एग्जांपल दिया कि जब वो नौकरी ढूंढ रहे थे या नौकरी ढूंढने से पहले भी वो समर्पित है. सबसे पहले वो सरेंडर की बात कर रहे हैं कि अगर हम समर्पित है श्रीमाता जी के लिए तो सब कुछ काम बन जाता है. उन्होंने अप्लाई करना था, उनके पास में कई सारे जॉब्स की ऑप्शंस थे जहाँ पे अप्लाई कर सकते थे, और वो सुबह भी कर सकते थे, दोपहर को भी कर सकते थे, बाद में भी कर सकते थे. वो एक्चुअली जो जॉब चाहते थे, पहले उन्होंने ये प्रेयर किया कि मुझे ऐसा जॉब दीजिए श्रीमाता जी जो मेरे आत्मा के लिए अच्छा हो, जो मेरे लिए अच्छा हो. तो इन्होंने जो जॉब इनको मिला, एक्चुअली वो उसको चाहते नहीं थे, वो चाहते थे मॉर्निंग वाला, और उनको मिला दोपहर का. लेकिन जैसे ही वो उन्होंने जॉब शुरू किया, 1 महीना भी नहीं हुआ तब उनको पता चला कि वो माँ बनने वाले हैं, वो प्रेग्नेंट है उस समय. और अगर वो सुबह वाला जॉब लेते जो कि उन्होंने लिया हुआ था दूसरा एक, वो उनको छोड़ना पड़ा. तो इंसान के तौर पे हमें एक जॉब दिखता है, हमें बहुत आगे तक का दिखता नहीं है, लेकिन डिवाइन को सब कुछ दिखता है आगे तक का, तो वो हमारे लिए अपने आप रास्ता बनाते हैं. और एक जॉब से हम दूसरे जॉब पे जाते हैं, दूसरे से तीसरे पे जाते हैं. और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो उन्होंने बोली, जो बहुत ही गहन है, कभी कभी हम जॉब खुद के लिए नहीं करते हैं, श्री माता जी ने हमें वहां पे डाला होता है दूसरे लोगों के लिए. क्योंकि एक सहयोगी बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. इन्होंने जो बोला है, माँ ने बोला, एक सहयोगी 10,000 लोगों के ऊपर काम करता है. मतलब एक सहयोगी 10,000 लोगों के ऊपर काम करता है. जब भी हमें जॉब मिलता है तो कभी कभी हम अपना नहीं सोच के ये सोचे कि जहाँ पे भी हमें श्री माता जी ने डाला है उस पूरे इलाके के ऊपर हम काम कर रहे हैं. 10,000 मतलब कॉलोनीज हो गए, कितने 3, 4, 10 कॉलोनीज हो गए, उतने कॉलोनीज के ऊपर हमारा असर हो रहा है. स्कूल में गए तो सारे बच्चे, सारे प्रिंसिपल, सबके ऊपर हमारा काम हो रहा है। तो उनकी एडवाइस ये है कि जब भी हम नौकरी ढूंढे तो हम प्रार्थना करें कि हमें नौकरी श्रीमाता जी ऐसे दीजिए जिसमें जो हमारे आत्मा के लिए अच्छी हो, क्योंकि आप जानते हो और ये याद रखें कि जहाँ पे भी डाला है वहां पे बहुत सारे लोगों के ऊपर काम कर रही है श्रीमाता जी हमारे थ्रू। So over to you. There is one more question.
Okay.
Yes.
So practically, how Sahaj helped me when I first was my first teaching in a class, I found that when I had I would have I had a teaching practice, and it was a class with children in different groups. There was a lot happening, but somehow I was able to be in this witness mode, and I knew what all the children were doing around me, even though they were involved in different things. And when I wasn't standing, it wasn't a traditional setup where you stand in front of a classroom, they're all in desks. They were all working in small groups according to ages. And when my professor came and she said, "Oh, I can't believe how well you are managing. All the other students are all very chaotic." And I realized it's because mother's put me in this witness mode. I see everything that's happening and I'm just dealing with it calmly. So that was one point. So meditation and being able to witness and keeping your meditating on your guru tattva, so that you become, when you teach, you need to teach from your guru tattva. So you are firm and you have authority, but you are still loving.
तो दीदी ने ये बोला कि प्रोफेशनली ऐसा हुआ कि जब उन्होंने जॉब लिया, टीचिंग जॉब लिया, टीचिंग प्रैक्टिस, तो क्योंकि मेडिटेशन कर रहे हैं माता जी की कृपा से, वो साक्षी भाव में सब कुछ जो हो रहा है वो देख रहे हैं, उनकी कोई रिएक्शन नहीं है और उनको सब पता है कहाँ पे क्या चल रहा है, और वो इतने अच्छे ढंग से मैनेज होता था क्योंकि वो मेडिटेशन करते हैं और जो हमें बता रहे हैं एडवाइस कि अपने गुरु तत्व को स्ट्रांग रखो या अपने गुरु तत्व पे मेडिटेशन करो। उससे क्योंकि हम पढ़ाते समय वो अथॉरिटी यूज करते हैं गुरु की, तो दूसरी जगह का जब कोई भी सीनियर प्रोफेसर आया तो उनको देख के बहुत अप्रिशिएट किया कि बाकी जगह में क्योस है लेकिन आपके वाले जगह में बहुत अच्छा है, हाउ आर यू डूइंग इट। तो वो कहते हैं मुझे पता लगा कि भाई ये तो श्री माता जी करा रही है क्योंकि मैं साक्षी भाव में हूँ, कोई रिएक्शन नहीं है, इसलिए सारा कुछ अच्छे से मैनेज हो रहा है, सब कुछ देख रही हूँ बट कोई उसमें रिएक्शन नहीं है।
And the other practical thing was, I was very worried about, as a teacher, you have to plan your lessons for the next day. And I had a very weak agya at the time and a weak liver. I didn't want to think or have to plan too much. But every night when I was meditating, Shrimadaji the ideas would just come into my head. I'm in thoughtless awareness, and suddenly the whole next day's lesson plan would just like fall into my head. And I would just go, "Oh, okay, we'll do it like that." So if you meditate and you allow yourself to be relaxed and thoughtless, the ideas will come in a very balanced way.
तो दीदी ने ये बोला जब उन्होंने जॉब लिया तो एक टीचर जो है उनसे ऐसी आशा की जाती है कि अगले दिन का जो भी आपने पढ़ाना है उसकी तैयारी करो, लेसन प्लान की तैयारी करो, आपके पास आइडियाज होने चाहिए, बच्चों को पढ़ाना है। वो कहते हैं मेरा उस समय लीवर और आज्ञा उतना स्ट्रांग नहीं था तो मैं इतना सोचना नहीं चाहती थी, लेकिन जैसे ही मेडिटेशन में बैठती थी अगले दिन के सारे आइडियाज, सारा लेसन प्लान शिवादा जी ऊपर से डाल देते थे और बहुत स्मूथली वो चलता रहा। और एडवाइस भी यही है कि हम जब थॉटलेस में जाते हैं तो टॉर्सन एरिया से जो भी कनेक्शन होती है अपनी, हमको आइडियाज आ जाते हैं, अपने आप शिवाता जी डाल देते हैं और सब काम होने लगता है। ओवर टू यू दीदी।
Okay. And so the last thing I would say is that I think I was very lucky because Shrimataji gave me a lot of love for the children. I always felt a lot of love for the children. And when children feel that you love them, they will respond, especially the little ones. They do anything for you, because they know you love them. And when I was retiring and I was leaving, so many children came to hug me and, say they're going to miss you. And one thing I learned was that one class I remember, I was working as a substitute teacher. So you go to different schools and different classes. And there were one class, this boy was being very naughty and cheeky in it. And so instinctively, you know, it's like Shrimataji is just, if you are a yogi and you meditate regularly, Mother helps you. So I instinctively took this child out of the classroom and just start talking to him one-to-one, you know, and so, and I just felt love for this child. And I said to him, you know, why are you doing this? You know, I can't remember exact words now, but somehow I connected to him on a level that he could feel that I cared for him, and I was just trying to make things better for him. So I didn't do punishments, you know. I would talk to the children. What is happening here? What's going on? Are you not feeling good? This is not a good day for you, you know. How are we? And somehow, I don't know, Shrimataji just would give me the right words to resolve the problem, you know. It was very beautiful. But love, when the children feel that you love, you be firm, you know, and that was it. You be loving, and if you are fair, children know when you are fair. Sometimes I'd come and there'd be a like a fight or something, you know. I hadn't seen it, so I listen and make a decision. If I made the wrong decision, the children will tell me, "Oh no, Mrs. This not true," you know. And so you learn to be. You can say, if I made a mistake, oh, I made a mistake. It's good for children to realize that even adults make mistakes, you know, but you respect them. You respect the children, you love the children, then they will respect and love you. And you trust, to be firm, but if you are firm and fair, they accept it.
तो दीदी अपने प्रोफेशनल एक्सपीरियंस से बता रही हैं, क्योंकि वो टीचिंग में रहे, कि अगर आप जिन बच्चों को पढ़ाते हैं, पहली बात तो अगर आप रोज मेडिटेट करते हैं तो शिमादा जी आपकी हेल्प करती है, और हर जगह से हेल्प करती है, हर तरह से हेल्प करती है। और अगर बच्चों को पता है कि ये टीचर हमसे प्यार करती है और फेयर है, तो वो आपकी रिस्पेक्ट करना शुरू कर देते हैं और वो आपकी बात सुनते हैं। वो एग्जाम्पल दे रहे हैं कि एक बार वो सब्स्टिट्यूट टीचर से कहीं गए और एक बच्चे ने बहुत उछल कूद दिया, जो भी बदमाश बच्चा होगा, तो उन्होंने वो पनिशमेंट नहीं देते थे, वो एकदम शिमाता जी ने जो भी आइडिया इनको दिया बाहर लेके गए, उससे बात किया, और वो पूछते थे क्या है आपका दिन आज अच्छा नहीं रहा, क्यों कर रहे हो, क्या कर रहे हो। और बच्चों को जब समझ में आने लगता है कि ये टीचर जेन्युइनली हमको प्यार करती है, तो फिर वो रिस्पॉन्ड करते हैं। और कभी गलती हो भी गई, गलत डिसीजन हो भी गया, तो वो बताते हैं नहीं नहीं ये गलत है। तो वो बताना चाह रहे हैं कि रोज ध्यान करें, तो श्वेता जी किसी भी जॉब में है वहां पे हेल्प करती है, और वो अपने एक्सपीरियंस से उनकी क्या हेल्प हुई वो बता रहे हैं। ओवर टू यू दीदी। नाउ आई एम आस्किंग एवरीबडी एल्स टू स्विच ऑन देयर कैमरास, लेट हर सी who is listening to her, people from Uttarakhand, the collectivity.
I know we're running out of time, but I did want to answer this last question. Have you ever felt lost in life in all these years? And did Shrimataji give you directions? Can I answer
yes, please,
that?
please. All yours.
Yeah.
All yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one time, so I have a few different answers for this. So one time I went to Shrimataji and she would say, "How are you?" And mostly you want to say, "I'm fine, Mother." That's what she wants to hear, because whatever your problem is, you have to work it out. You have to find out what the problem is. And one time I went to her and I said, I was with her, and she said, "How are you?" And I said, "I'm all right, Mother. I think I see the problem now." And she said to me, once you see the problem, you are halfway there to fixing it. So it's part of a process. Then another time, so I had many challenges. I've lived a long life, and it wasn't easy in Sajoga in those early years. We had a lot of difficult leaders. You know, every collective had their right-sided, boom, 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 you know, out of Sajoga leaders. And we had one who didn't like me, made a lot of trouble for me, you know, I had left side problems, but it was too much, you know. And I struggled with reactions, and I felt that I have this situation with this leader because it is a replica of a childhood relationship. And I felt, this is happening to me because I have to work this out. I have to become strong in myself, so this kind of dominating personality doesn't affect me anymore. So it took time for that. And Shimataji knew everything that was going on, but she never said anything. She never said, oh, this person, this and that, you know. We all had to put up with these leaders. Later I heard she said it was necessary because the right side had to be worked out. You know, we tend to think everything is personal, but it's actually happening on a much bigger stage. And finally, Shimataji came, and we'd had a year as a family on our own, and something had definitely worked out. And I no longer felt that I felt strong. And when Shimataji said to me at the end of her visit, and how are you, actually, we were outside the ashram. She was about to leave. She hadn't talked to me or I had no interaction the whole of her 3 or 4 days. And they had got a coconut that they were smashing at the end of the visit to destroy all the negativity. And literally, as they smashed this coconut, she turned to me. I was standing nearby, and she looked at me and she said, how are you? And I said, I'm fine, Mother. Everything's going to be fine. And then she said to me, you must never let negativity destroy you. And that was the first time she had ever said anything to validate the way this person was behaving was not right. But it wasn't till I had worked it out, you know, till I had got strong enough in my chakras and in my, you know, mental thing. Then she said, this wasn't right, but you have to work this out. I'm sorry, I stopped for you to translate.
No. So, दीदी ये बोल रहे हैं कि कभी कभी हम जब जाते हैं शिमाता जी के पास में, वो पूछते कैसे हो, तो हम बोलते हैं हम अच्छे हैं। नॉर्मली हम ये बोलते हैं हम अच्छे हैं। तो एक बार दीदी गए तो उन्होंने बोला मैं ठीक हूँ, मुझे प्रॉब्लम पता चल गया है। तो शिमाता जी ने बोला अगर आपको प्रॉब्लम पता चल गया इसका मतलब आधा सॉल्व हो गया। इफ यू हैव आइडेंटिफाइड द प्रॉब्लम, हाफ इज सॉल्व्ड। फिर उन्होंने बोला मेरे को कुछ लेफ्ट साइड के जो भी इश्यूज होंगे, हमारा जो सेंट्रल लीडर है वो बहुत राइट साइडेड था, बहुत ज्यादा एग्रेसिव, बहुत डोमिनेटिंग, तो मुझे उससे बहुत दिक्कत होता था। और शिमाता जी को सब पता था, लेकिन शिमाता जी कुछ बोलते नहीं थे। धीरे धीरे वो वर्कआउट हुआ। तो दीदी का मैसेज ये है कि कई बार जो कुछ भी हो रहा होता है वो शिमाता जी लार्जर इंटरेस्ट में सब कुछ जानते हैं, लेकिन होने देते हैं। एक टाइम ऐसा आया कि उन्होंने उसको ओवरकम कर लिया। वो ऐसे हो गए कि उनको किसी के भी डोमिनेशन से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता। और वो पूरा खत्म होने के बाद जब शिमाता जी किसी एक विजिट में आए थे, 3-4 दिन तक कोई बातचीत नहीं हुआ, और जब जाने लग गए तो सब उस समय कोकोनट फोड़ रहे थे नेगेटिविटी को निकालने के लिए। जैसे वो कोकोनट फोड़ा तो शिमाता जी ने पलट के इनकी तरफ देखा और बोला कैसे हो? तो इन्होंने बोला मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ। तब उन्होंने बोला कि कभी भी नेगेटिविटी को खुद को डिस्ट्रॉय मत करने दो। उनको मालूम सब कुछ है, कहाँ पे क्या चल रहा है, किसको क्या प्रॉब्लम है, बट वो वर्कआउट करने के लिए हमारे को अंदर से जैसा गुरु करता है वैसा करा उन्होंने। तो कभी कभी हम पर्सनल सोचते हैं, बट वो बड़े लेवल पे काम हो रहा होता है।
So this was a big challenge for me, a very big challenge. And Srimataji didn't give me any advice except, you know, what is happening with you? We have to be honest with ourselves and sincere. If we are having reactions to things, why am I having reactions? Why am I allowing this to bother me? You know, and you meditate and you ask Mother, and she will help you. She will give you the answer. Maybe not immediately, maybe while you're washing the dishes, you will get, you know.
तो दीदी ने बोला कि ये प्रॉब्लम्स होते रहते हैं, हमारे साथ भी हो रहे हैं और बाकी किसी के साथ भी होते हैं। तो हमने ये सोचना है कि क्यों दूसरे का चीज हमारे ऊपर असर डाल रहा है, हम क्यों रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं। ये ज्यादा मेरे लिए पर्सनल लेसन है, बिकॉज मैं भी थोड़ा ज्यादा राइट रेड हूँ। तो कि दूसरे जो भी बोल रहे हैं उसका फर्क मेरे ऊपर क्यों पड़ रहा है। अगर हम ध्यान करते समय माँ को प्रेयर करेंगे कि भाई हमें ऐसा बना दीजिए शिमाता जी कि किसी भी चीज का हमें फर्क नहीं पड़े, तो शिमाता जी हमारी मदद करती है। हो सकता है इमीडिएट नहीं हो, जैसा दीदी एग्जांपल दे रहे हैं, कभी आप साफ सफाई कर रहे हो, बर्तन साफ कर रहे हो, उस समय हो सकता है, कभी भी हो सकता है। तो सबके लिए वो मैसेज है कि मेडिटेट करें, प्रेयर करें, ताकि कोई भी चीज हमें अपनी जगह से हिला ना पाए, बिल्कुल फर्म रहे। I will want everybody to switch on the cameras and we will change the view so that she can also see.
Sometimes it's easier not to see everybody's faces. So I just wanted to finish with about how do you cope with challenges. And, you know, I lived in Canada. We went to Canada and we didn't see Shrimataji. You know, we're on the other side of the world. I was in a new collective, 4 people who just got realization 3 months before, very different from England. After 6 months, it was a lovely place, lovely people, but vibrations were very different. And after 6 months, I got a message from the leader in Europe saying, Shrimataji said to tell you to remember the good times. So sometimes when things are really bad, you know, or you're not I didn't realize at the time that I was feeling lonely. You remember the good times, and that gives you perspective that this not so good time will pass.
कनाडा गई तो बहुत ही कम सहयोगी थे, 3-4 लोग थे और कुछ भी वहां पे इतनी कलेक्टिविटी नहीं है, उनको लोनली भी लग रहा है, वो काम भी कर रहे हैं और ऐसी जगह पे है, अलग कॉर्नर पे है दुनिया के जहां पे वो श्रीमाता जी को देख भी नहीं रहे, बट श्रीमाता जी देख रही है। तो वहां से थोड़े महीनों के बाद में उनको मैसेज आया कि उनको बताओ कि अच्छे वक्त को याद करो। So today also we are doing the same thing because we are requesting you to share your experiences. You are reliving those moments, and through you we are sharing those experiences. We are filled with vibrations and loving the experience you shared with the goddess in person.
And so I've had many challenges. Challenges come when you don't, you know, when I first got realization, I thought, oh, all the bad times are over. I did not realize that in this life as a yogi, we constantly have challenges coming to us because it's through the challenges that we grow. And what helps us is our connection to Shrimataji. I always meditate. I sit before her photo and I talk to her. I ask her, Mother, please help me. You know, sometimes we're confused. Sometimes we don't understand what is happening to us. We don't see how we can solve this. But I trust, Mother. I'm patient. I wait. Sometimes a situation takes time to change. Sometimes we have to change ourselves in order for the situation to change. But our one constant is the love of Mother for us and is our ability to sit and to meditate and to feel better in the meditation and to take the next day. Each day is a new day. I hope that helps.
तो दीदी ने ये बोला कि जब मेरा रियलाइजेशन हुआ तो मैंने सोचा अभी तो सब कुछ अच्छा ही होगा, अब कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होंगे, लेकिन बाद में ये पता चला जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं उसके थ्रू हम ग्रो करते हैं। हर बार जब भी कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आता है तो हम उसके थ्रू ग्रो करते हैं और जो हमारा कनेक्शन है श्री माता जी के साथ में वो हमारी हेल्प करता है। वो कहते हैं अभी भी मैं श्री माता के सामने बैठ के जब ध्यान करती हूँ, मैं उनसे बात करती हूँ, मैं उनसे मदद मांगती हूँ और हमारा काम सब होता रहता है और ऐसे ही हमको आगे बढ़ते रहना है।
And you use the techniques that she has given us. Do the name burning, you know, give bandhans, do shoe beating. In my very early years, one time we were in Caxton Hall and the public, Shrimataji had given realization to everyone and had come down off the stage and was working on people in the audience. I was still sitting in my chair a few rows in front. I had a lot of thoughts, unpleasant thoughts going through my head. And suddenly I heard her say, Felicity, come. And I shot up off my chair and I turned and I went towards her and I stood before her. And she said to me, you must know I have more power in my little finger than all the negativity in the whole world put together. I have more power in my little finger than all the negativity in the world put together. And she has given us those powers too. So we must have confidence and use them and know that you are being taken care of and loved, even in your most challenging and difficult moments. And you will get through those and look back and go, oh, I see now, that has made me stronger. Now I understand myself better.
तो दीदी ने जो पहले बोला उसी को आगे बढ़ाते हुए वो कह रहे हैं कि लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम ऐसे आते रहेंगे और हम आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे। एक एक्सपीरियंस उन्होंने शेयर किया कि पुराने समय में कैक्सटन हॉल के अंदर एक पब्लिक प्रोग्राम हुआ जहाँ पे वो सबके ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं, नए सीकर्स के ऊपर रियलाइजेशन दिया हुआ है और आगे ही बैठे हुए थे फ्रंट के कोई 2-3 चेयर्स में और उस समय उनके दिमाग में बहुत नेगेटिव कोई विचार चल रहे थे। वो चलते चलते सडनली उनको शिमादा जी ने पुकारा, फेलिसिटी बोला तो बोले एकदम से मैं खड़ी हो गई और वापस बुलाया और जब वो शिमादा जी के सामने गए, वो तो जान रही है इनके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है, तो शिमादा जी ने बोला इस दुनिया की सारी जितनी भी नेगेटिविटी है उससे ज्यादा पावर मेरी ये छोटी वाली उंगली में है। मेरी छोटी वाली उंगली जो है ये सबसे छोटी वाली, इसमें पूरी दुनिया की जितनी नेगेटिविटी है उससे ज्यादा पावर है। तो जैसे ही ये बोला वो सारा कुछ क्लियर हो गया। तो वो बता रहे हैं कि जो भी टेक्निक बताई है उन्होंने, चाहे वो नेम बर्निंग है, पेपर पे लिख के करते हैं हम लोग, नेम बर्निंग है, शू बीटिंग है और बंधन देना है, उसको पूरा यूज करना है और वो पावर्स के साथ में हमेशा हमारे साथ में है। यस, दैट वाज वेरी पावरफुल।
And I'll just answer the last question about the wars. So this is very worrying for young people. But for me, I remember what Shimataji said. She said many things. One thing she said was that all the negativity in the world is going to be exposed. And do not put attention on it. Sorry, I'm looking at myself now. It's distracting me. Just one sec. Yeah, it's better when I don't look at me. I've lost what I was going to say. So she always talked of her vision. And over the years, I've seen all the different kinds of negativity be exposed. In the early years, there was a lot of focus on religion. Shimataji would talk about the different religions, exposing their problems, their falsehoods, all those things. And then we moved on from the religions to more material things, other things. I feel right now, all these wars Mother is working out this weakness in humanity, in humans, this ego for power and to create wars. I feel it is part of the divine plan to expose these dominating, aggressive types of people. But it's up to us as people to demand peace and pray for peace and to go deeper in ourselves, to witness these things. We can have havans and pujas where we pray that this kind of negativity, this kind of personality that creates these wars be destroyed. But whenever I would worry about all these things that I've seen over the years, and I would pray to Mother, what can I do? And each time I would hear her say to me, give realization to change the humanity, to change the people. The people have to change inside and want peace.
तो क्वेश्चन ये था कि इतने सारे जो वॉर चल रहे हैं, इसके रिलेटेड सब डिस्टर्ब्ड है, क्या कर सकते हैं? तो उन्होंने ये बोला कि जब ये सवाल कभी उन्होंने माँ को, शिमाता जी को पूछा है, तो शिमाता जी का एक तो ये था कि दुनिया में जितनी भी नेगेटिविटी है सब एक्सपोज हो जाएगी। जहां जहां पे जो भी लोग डोमिनेटिंग है, जो वॉर क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, वो सब एक्सपोज हो जाएंगे। और जब उन्होंने खुद शिमाता जी को ये सवाल पूछा, मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ इसमें, तो उन्होंने बोला रियलाइजेशन दो, क्योंकि जब सबके पास रियलाइजेशन होगा और आप पीस डिमांड करोगे, वो अपने आप हो जाएगा। अगर दुनिया को बदलना है तो इंसान को बदलना पड़ेगा, इंसान को बदलने के लिए रियलाइजेशन देना जरूरी है। तो इन शॉर्ट सब कुछ एक्सपोज होने वाला है, जो भी नेगेटिव है। हम शांति की प्रार्थना कर सकते हैं, हवन कर सकते हैं, बंधन दे सकते हैं, लेकिन खुद क्या कर सकते हैं? रियलाइजेशन दे सकते हैं। इन शॉर्ट, ओवर टू यू दीदी।
So the person has asked, will paying attention work in this scenario? Will putting the chitta on it help? Of course it must help. I think it's important to witness, to not get sucked into it, to not feel the fear and anxiety around it. I feel the more we do very deep and silent meditations, really, the deeper we can go as yogis, this will spread out into the world. Sometimes it seems like futile, because I am surprised myself at how long these wars are continuing. But the divine has its own plan. I mean, it's the people themselves that are fueling it. But we must still pray for peace. We must still have pujas and havans for peace. But it always feels to me that ultimately it is within us, that we have to be peaceful people, and we have to spread that peace from within us. When I remember that she said one of us works it out for 10,000, that's a lot of people that we can influence. So take heart. I know that so many things Srimataji promised in those early years have come to pass. We are living in such a different world from when I got realization. It wasn't a global, there wasn't this sense of, like when I first got realization, countries were still very insular. We live in a global world. When I first got realization, it was so hard to get the Kundalini up. You could spend all your meditation doing mantras and techniques just to feel the Kundalini come up. Now you sit to meditate and it's there. It's a completely different level of vibrations throughout the world. So much has been worked out already to get to this point. So please don't feel despair at all. We're at a time in the world where things look very bad on the outside. But if we go inside, there's great beauty and depth. And we can feel that strength there. I know that these wars will pass. And we are looking forward to a beautiful blossom time that will spread more outside as we feel it inside. Have we lost our translator?
Yeah, I'm talking and without unmuting myself. Great. so दीदी ने ये बोला कि आप अटेंशन डाल सकते हैं, लेकिन उसके अंदर खींच मत जाइए, अटैच मत हो जाइए उसके साथ में, अपना अटेंशन डिटैच रखिए और प्रेयर करते रहिए, जागृति देते रहिए. अभी जो लास्ट में उन्होंने जो बात बोला कि एक तो वो 10,000 के ऊपर एक आदमी का काम चलता है, वो दूसरा एग्जाम्पल वो दे रहे हैं कि शुरुआत में वो बहुत पूरा दिन आप लगे रहोगे या बंधन दोगे या प्रेयर करोगे, तब जाके कुंडलिनी ऊपर आती थी. अभी कहते हैं अभी वो लेवल ही चेंज हो गया है, बहुत कुछ बदल चुका है. जो भी श्री माता जी ने बोला था उसमें से बहुत सारे टफ वाले टाइम निकल भी गए. इसका मतलब कि बहुत डीपर लेवल पे कुछ अच्छे काम ऑलरेडी चल रहे हैं. वाइब्रेशंस के लेवल अलग हो गए हैं, कुंडलिनी शक्ति ऊपर आके ज्यादा देर तक रुक रही है. तो हमें होप रखनी चाहिए, हमें निराश नहीं होना चाहिए, हमें अटेंशन डाल सकते हैं मगर अटैच नहीं होना चाहिए, रियलाइजेशन देना करना चाहिए और ज्यादा देर तक उस डीप स्टेट में रहने का कोशिश करना चाहिए. मतलब होप रखना चाहिए, एवरीथिंग इज गुड, इट विल बिकम बेटर एंड बेटर. ये जो भी वॉर्स है वो खुद भी सोच रहे इतने लंबे समय से चल रहे, क्यों चल रहे, मगर सब बंद होगा धीरे धीरे, काम हो रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है कि वो नहीं हो रहा है. There's two more questions.
Yes, I'm going to answer how to help maintain regularity in meditation. So this is a challenge for all of us. in our daily lives. So what I personally do, I try to, as soon as you get up, just go. And I know, so if you're having problems meditating, I find it's best to get up and immediately go and bow down to Shrimataji and just say to yourself, oh, I just take 5 minutes here. And you kind of trick yourself. And usually you'll end up, once you've lit the candles and the incense, put some music, you'll stay longer, you know? So that's a helpful thing. If I get up and if I'm in that place where I've lost my regularity, and I get up and I go have my shower and everything, and then I get distracted by other things and have not done my meditation. So then I will do it that way. Sometimes at night, if I've had a busy day, and I've come back and I'm feeling tired and I go, oh, I'm too tired to meditate. And I just trick myself again. And I just say, oh, I'm just going into bow down. You know, I'm not listening to the thoughts. I'm just going into bow down. I go bow down and I'm just going to raise my Kundalini. And before I know it, you know, I'm actually having a meditation, even 10 minutes. It's very important to meditate every day. Otherwise, we absorb too much from outside, and it takes longer to clear it. But if you are very focused, you can have a very deep quality meditation of 10 minutes, which will clear much faster than half an hour of just kind of, oh, I'm listening to the music, it's nice, you know, like a focused meditation can be really effective. Don't beat yourself up. We all face these challenges. Just do what you can. Even if you can't, you know, you can always meditate. You don't have to be in the morning first thing and in the evening later. Sometimes your schedule doesn't work like that. So you just go, oh, I'm home for lunch. I'm just going to have a little foot soak. The other thing that helped me a lot when I was working was if I came home and I immediately did foot soak, just 5 minutes even, all the stuff, I could feel it just like rushing out into the water. But if I waited and did it later before I went to bed, somehow it wasn't so effective. And you can enjoy your evening better if you foot soak as soon as you come home from work.
बहुत अच्छी चीजें बताई दीदी ने. एक तो है कि अपने दिमाग को उल्लू बनाना है कि अभी उनको लग रहा है कि मैं तो ध्यान नहीं हो पाएगा सुबह, तो वो कहती है कि जाके नहा धो के बैठने की जगह जैसे ही उठ रहे हैं सीधा जाके बोल रहे मैं ना सिर्फ नमस्कार ही करूंगा शिवाता जी को और कुछ नहीं करूंगा. तो बोले जैसे ही जाके मैं नमस्कार करती हूँ वो 5 मिनट का 10 मिनट 15 मिनट 20 मिनट हो जाता है, पता ही नहीं चलता. बोले नहाना भी नहीं है, कहीं भी नहीं जाना है, ऐसा तो 2 मिनट नमस्कार करके जाती हूँ. तो वो जैसी उठती है वैसी नमस्कार कर देती है, जैसी शिवाता जी के सामने सर झुकाती है अपने आप ध्यान चालू हो जाता है सुबह सुबह. दूसरी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो बताई कि मैं भी खुद भी ऐसे कर रहा था कि सोने से पहले फुट सोक कर रहे थे. वो कह रही सोने से पहले नहीं, थक के आया, जैसे ही आया ऑफिस से वैसे ही फुट सोक कर दिया और 5-7 मिनट में ही सब कुछ निकल जाता है और आपकी इवनिंग बहुत इंजॉयबल हो जाती है. मतलब बिल्कुल वेट करे लास्ट में सोने से पहले फुट सोक करने का या ऑफिस से तुरंत आके फुट सोक करने का. उनकी रिकमेंडेशन है तुरंत आके फुट सोक कर लो, बेटर है. उसके बाद का टाइम सोने तक का बहुत अच्छा हो जाएगा. This is in short what you wanted to convey.
And the other thing that helps me a lot is over the years, I kind of like vary your meditations too. I'm not sure if the question is that the person is, because of their life circumstances, is not able to meditate regularly, or if it's just that they're having difficulty getting themselves to meditate. So in the latter, I would say, you know, so in England, we now have online meditations for England at 8 o'clock every night. So I always try to join that. If you can join an online meditation, that can really help. If I miss that one, I watch it in the morning, and then I feel connected to the other yogis. I mean, collective online meditation can be really helpful if you're, you know, having trouble being collective.
The beauty and the simplicity of your answers. You see, the next question is that I am getting a request, if possible, kindly invite Auntie for the next session as well. We have to seek her time. We can't just hijack her from her schedule, but definitely we'll make a request because time is less and we want to know more.
Yes, we should finish now. I have to say that I've forgotten his name. The very sweet young man who organized this.
Divyan.
Yes, Divyan. He said that it's possible to maybe schedule another session later on.
We'll be grateful if you can come.
Yeah.
We are requesting you if you can come on next Saturday as well, because people have really liked this interaction. We are full of vibrations. We are reliving those moments through you.
Well, I'll talk with him.
Yes.
I'm not sure about next Saturday, but probably,
we
in
have
the
it
near
every
future.
Saturday. So if not next
Yes,
to next, whenever,
possibly,
because this is your home. This is Uttarakhand.
I would love some feedback. Just to, it's been a very special session today, and I feel very humbled that you are beaming me into India for all these beautiful young souls, and I'm not sure that my experiences are relevant, to young Indian people, but I thank you very much for having me.
Just let me remove my background. What I did when we were talking, that I tried and take out some of the experiences. This book is full of your experiences, full pages and pages and pages, and that's why I wanted you to expand it a little bit, because I know Linda would not be able to contain everything into one book.
Yes,
it will run into multiple books for each Jogi. So
I will send you. I'll send you some links. So in England, Sushmita has been studiously recording older yogis with their memories from India, from England, from other places. And I have done several sessions for her. And I will send you the link to the channel and also specifically to a few that I have done, which have expanded on the experiences in the book.
We'll be grateful.
Look at everybody's beautiful faces.
So now we are wanting everybody's camera to be on, whoever is there in the meeting, so that we can see, and Didi can also see who all are listening to her right now. अपना camera on कर दीजिए. Please wave to her from India to England to the heart of the universe. Let us see. Let us see. Let us exchange vibrations. These are all people who come every Saturday to listen to great souls, real life souls like you, and learn something and go deeper into meditation. सभी अपने कैमरा ऑन कर दीजिए प्लीज. एक बार उनको हाथ मिला के स्वागत भी कर सकते हैं, धन्यवाद भी कर सकते हैं, और हम उनको फिर से इनवाइट करेंगे. हमारे पास में उत्तराखंड में भी बुलाएंगे. And on behalf of the collectivity, I am requesting you, whenever you can, please come to Uttarakhand. This is the place. This is Uttarakhand. You are most welcome. A very scenic, beautiful place, full of mountains, rivers, forests, pure. And everybody loved it. Everybody is thanking you. And we thank Shimataji, who made it possible for us to interact with you, learn through you, whatever you learned from her directly. So we thank
I love you all.
We thank
love you all.
Thank you, Shimataji.
Jai Shri Mataji to everyone.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji, everyone.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Anshika. Jai Shri Mataji. Jai Shri Mataji.
Anshika.
All right. I will say goodbye now.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Thank you so much.
I'll send you a recording, link of this recording. This is getting recorded. Thank
Jai
you.
Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Please take care of yourself, everybody. All of you. You are very special souls. You're all in Mother's heart. You take care of yourselves. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Ah.
Bye.